Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Just about to start. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So as per every Tuesday, we've been going through the 10th Vaar, the 10th, you could say, chapter of Bhai Gurdaas Ji, Bhai Gurdaas Ji's 40 Vara. So this is a writing of Bhai Gurdaas Ji, who, like in the post we explained, they are the nephew of the third Guru. They are, which makes them the cousin of Bibi Pani Ji, who are the wife of the fourth Guru, and then that makes them the Mamma Ji of the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And when Guru Arjan Dev Ji, when we say, Guru Granth Sahib Ji was first written, the one who was the good Sikh who was actually writing, in terms of writing down what Guru Arjan Dev Ji would be speaking, that was Bhai Gurdaas Ji. And Bhai Gurdaas Ji have their own writings, which are called their Vara. There are 40 Vara. We are on Vaar number 10. And Vaar number 10, the aim of Vaar number 10, it seeks to explain or describe the backgrounds and the sort of summarize the lives of the main characters or historical figures that are mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So Bhai Gurdaas Ji's writings are called the Key to Understanding Gurbani by Guru Arjan Dev Ji, by the fifth Guru. They were given this title, Gurbani Di Kunji. And we were going through quite a few characters that have been mentioned in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We're on number 8 this week. And as it says below, Draupadi, aka Panchalī. Sorry, that's spelled wrong there. Panchalī. And those of you who watched last week, if you missed it, it's on the Muscat Mata Sahib Kaj Educational Trust Instagram TV. You can watch a few of the previous episodes, and then you can type in Mata Sahib Kaj Educational Trust into YouTube, and they're all there uploaded as well. So this week, we kind of carry on from last week. So last week we talked about Bidar Bhagat Ji, who were the uncle of Duryodhan, who were the king of the land during the times of the Kuru dynasty. So we're talking about 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. And when this Kuru family, this dynasty ruled India, at one point it became split into two. There was a great feud within this family that ruled all of India. And it came to a point where those who thought they were the rightful heirs to the throne, the Pandavas, the 5 Pandav brothers, and their cousins, who were essentially led by Duryodhan. Duryodhan was the king at the time. He had the whole land, and what he had done was he had pushed the 5 Pandav, his cousins essentially, and the 5 Pandav brothers to a corner of the land and give them like a little space to live in. But they wanted their rightful land. They just wanted a not equal split, but even just a respectful split. And during this time, all of this is going on, and it all ends in this great battle that we call Mahabharat, during which the Bhagavad Gita is written, because it occurs because it's a conversation between Krishna Bhagavan Ji, who is the form of Vaheguru on the earth, and one of the Pandavas, Arjun. So that is the sort of time frame we're talking about this week. So part of that great epic story, and I urge everyone to go and read it and understand it. If anyone wants a link, you can direct message us here, and we can direct message myself. There's so many themes that are touched upon in Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji that it's just you can't understand if you haven't read about Mahabharata. Then you don't know who is, you don't know who an enemy is, you don't know who somebody on the sort of the good side is, who's on the bad side, and only by reading into this can you understand Satan Pankti and Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Like today, we're going to look at somebody called Draupadi, or also Panchalī. I realise I spelled it wrong there. And part of this whole epic, there comes a point, not to go into too much confusion, because we can still take we're still going to try to take the moral of this week's Pauri, this week's Vaar, as well as understanding who this was. So Draupadi was the wife of all 5 Pandav brothers. So a lot of this might not make sense, but for those who don't understand the context, you just want to take the main lesson of today's Pauri, as it is in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And we're going to talk about some lines in Guru Granth Sahib Ji where Draupadi is talked about, and they match with what Bhai Gurdaas Ji is trying to talk to us about. So Draupadi is the wife of all of the 5 Pandav brothers, That's why she's got a second name. So her name's Draupadi, and she's also got another name which is Panchalī. Panchalī meaning the wife of the Panch, or the five. So the wife of all of the five. And there's a long story of how she becomes married to essentially all five of them. But remember, the Pandavas are the ones who've been kicked out of this kingdom. Duryodhan is his cousin is the one who's on the throne, and his brother is called Dushasana. And Dushasan and the five Pandavas, they meet and they get into playing some what's called juha. They get into playing, you could say chess, or you could say, I suppose, into essentially a gambling game. And they're playing this game. I've forgotten which specific game it is, but they start gambling. They're playing poker, you could think, or and they start losing, but they trust that they'll keep winning. I think there's a bit of foul play at work here. I think that the dice, if I remember correctly, the dice were rigged, and so Dusasana and Duryodhan and that side of the family, they kept winning and winning and winning, and the five Pandavas kept betting and betting and betting and betting. And it got to a point where they had bet even their wife, okay, because they had nothing else left. They only had their wife. Remember, they're five brothers and they have one wife. And it comes to a point where they even lose their wife. So don't worry about the context and what's going on. It's a bit confusing, maybe, but from now on, you just want to pick up. So they're playing this game of poker, you could say. And at this point, they've even gambled and even offered their wife as well, Draupadi. Now, Draupadi is a devotee, meditates upon Krishna Bhagwanji. So, Krishna Bhagwanji are the incarnation of Vaheguru on the earth at that point. And when she is literally dragged from her room, she meditates upon Krishna Bhagwanji, and we see how Vaheguru, in that form, protect her and save her. So we'll jump straight into the story. So that's a little bit of context, but I'm sure if you follow through, you'll get the moral of the story. So we'll start, and Bhai Gurdaas explained about Draupadi. This is sort of the main story behind Draupadi and what she's referenced for in Guru Granth Sahib, which we'll also touch upon as well. Vaheguru Ji, Andar Sabha Dusasana. So Sabha means the court. So in the court of Dusasana, or as you said, Dusasan, which is Duryodhan's brother, so you could say the evil king's brother. Within that court, Mattheval Draupadi Andi, they brought Draupadi, Mattheval, so from her, Matha means your forehead, but from her head, the Val on her head, from the hair on her head, they grabbed Draupadi and they dragged her into the court of Dusasan, where this game of poker, you could say, this gamble was going on. Duta no Furmaya, an order of Furman, an order was given to the Doots, the guards or the servants. Nangi Karaho Panchalī Bandi. So tie Panchalī up, or in order to take all of her clothes off. Remember, they're trying to ridicule, they're trying to embarrass the five Pandavas because they've sort of defeated them. Take all of her clothes off and then tie her up because she's ours now. So we've won her in this gamble. Panje Pando Vekhde. The five Pandavas are sitting there watching. They can't do anything because they've lost. And they're honouring essentially the game that they played. So this, as with a lot of these stories, these ancient stories, a lot of honour is involved, which is a bit conflicting, maybe hypocritical in some cases. But due to the honour that they played this game and they partook in this game, they have to honour their agreement, and they give up their wife. Panche Pando Vekhde, so they're just sitting there watching. Aukat Ruddhi Nar Janadi, as Draupadi is brought into the court, and she's crying, and she's crying out to Krishna Bhagwanji. So Krishna Bhagwanji is somewhere else, and Draupadi focuses on her. Like if we were in a difficult situation, we would focus on our Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. In the same way, she's focusing on her Guru, which is Krishna Bhagwanji. Akhi meet, so she closes her eyes. Dhyan tar, and she focuses her meditation. She focuses her mind on Krishna Bhagwanji. Ha ha, and she's crying out. Ha ha, she's like screaming out. Krishan kara bilalandi. Krishan Bhagwan ji hear my cries. Bilalandi means she's she's crying out. She's wailing. She's sort of crying out to Krishan Bhagwan ji. Hear my cries. Hear my call for you to help me. And I remember as they're taking her clothes off, so she's wearing a sari. As was the norm then, she's wearing a sari, so you can think of the kapda as being wrapped around her like a sari is. It's one sort of big kapda that is wrapped around her body. And what they do is they take the sari from wherever it sort of starts, and they begin to pull this kapda from her. So we start unwrapping essentially the way a sari is tied. It's sort of wrapped around your body. They start unwrapping this sari from Draupadi to essentially embarrass her and embarrass the five Pandavas, to humiliate the five Pandavas. So kappad kot osaryon. So she's focused on Krishna Bhagwan ji, her guru, and the kapda is being removed from her. So much like if you wrap kapda around something and then you unwind it, so you pull it and whatever it's around, it spins around. They're taking the kapda off her, and she's sort of spinning around. They're doing it in sort of not a particularly nice way. But the kapda kot osaryon, the kapda keeps increasing and increasing. So kot means like it means a crore, or like 10 million in India, or we could think millions. So it's never ending, as in the length of the kapda is never ending. They keep pulling the sari, and the amount of kapda that's piled up is way beyond what was obvious she was wearing in the first place. So if she was wearing, let's say, a sari is 5 meters, there's 50 meters worth of kapda that has piled up as these guards keep pulling the kapda from her, according to the from the orders, according to the orders of Dosasan, who has won the bet. Thakke doot, the servants have now become tired. Na parvasandi, they still can't find the end of the sari. She's still wearing her clothes. The sari just keeps coming off and off and off on these piles and piles of kapda. Like we say, tan is like a 40 meter like sort of defined length of kapda. The kapda just keeps coming up, tan on tan on tan. Hat marodan sir tonan, hat marodan. So they keep twisting their hands as you would pull kapda. You sort of pull it when you twist your hand and you pull more. You pull and you twist your hand more. Sir tonan, and they put their hands to their head, like how they're hitting their hands in their head, thinking what is going on here? Like, remember, they're servants, they're gods. So they don't want to, like get kicked out, get sacked, or or to be sort of punished, tortured, or whatever. Because in the court they're not like doing it. They're in a state of panic. They keep pulling the kapda, but it's never ending. Like, they might think that they're doing something wrong in this sort of in this confusion. They keep pulling it up, and Siraj Hatmardiya, and all of the people in the court, all of the elders who are in the court, Dronacharya, Karuna, Dronacharya, Karuna, and Dosasan, they're all holding their hands in their heads, like the realization is kicking in, like what are we doing? What are we doing to somebody's wife? Bachotan, and they regret now. Bachotan means they regret. Bachotan karan jahe jandi, they keep now the regret of what they the sort of punishment, the humiliation that they'd sort of tried to put the five Pandavas and Draupadi through. Remember, she's got nothing to do with this. They sort of start regretting this now. But Krishna Bhagwan ji, her guru, save her. The kapda is never ending, and at no point does she become naked. Kar aayi, she finally comes home. So she's let go. She finally comes home. Thakur mile, she meets Krishna Bhagwan ji. Paj rahi bole sharmandi. Sharmandi, very embarrassed. She says to Krishna Bhagwan ji, bole, she speaks. Paj rahi, my respect remained because of yourself, Krishna Bhagwan ji. My guru, the form of Vaheguru. Remember, like you got to think, like we would think of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, we would think of our gurus. The same way she's looking at her guru, the form of Vaheguru for her, as the preserver of her honor. And they finish. Haji, Nath Anatha Ban Turandi. So Yeah, so Vaheguru, so this is Bhai Gurdaas actually saying, Turan di, so from the start of time, Vaheguru, you have been protecting the honors of those who were anath, without a master. You've become the master of those who had no master originally, and this has been your way from the start of time, that you've been protecting the honor of your saints and coming to the rescue of your saints from the start. Those who had no masters, you have become the master, and you've protected from many difficulties such as this. So very quickly, that was the story how Draupadi was saved by Krishna Bhagwanji. Now there are some lines of Gurbani from Guru Granth Sahib where we can see where this is referenced. So here's a Shabad by Guru Arjan Dev Ji on Ang 1008 of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And just to go through it quickly, it is by Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. Maru Mahalla Nava, Har ko naam sada sukhadai. So the name of Vaheguru is always the giver of bliss. Jako Simar, upon whose like Simran. So the Simran of that Vaheguru. Ajamal Udaryo, Ajamal, which is going to come up in a few weeks. So we're going to talk about how Ajamal was saved, how his honor was protected. Ajamal Udaryo, how Ajamal was saved. And Ganaka, who got by, and Ganaka was saved as well through the name of that Vaheguru. And Ganaka is going to get talked about as well in a few weeks. Rahao, and then they carry on. Panchalī, remember that was the other name of Draupadi. Panchalī ko Raj Sabha mein. So in the Sabha, the court, Raj, the royal Sabha, the court of the king, the brother of the king, so you could say like Duryodhan, and his brother was Dusasan. Within that court of the king, Panchalī, or otherwise known as Draupadi, Ram Nama Sud Ai. Sud means she came to her consciousness. What consciousness? She came into the consciousness of Krishna Bhagwanji. So Krishna Bhagwanji came into her mind, and she realized she should be thinking about Vaheguru, or the form of Vaheguru, which is Krishna Bhagwanji, and asking them to save her. Another Pankti. So Guru Ramdas Ji in Rag Nat on Ang 982. Nat Mahalla Chautha. Ram Kar Kirpa Lehu Ubare. Vaheguru, they use the word Ram for Vaheguru. Kar Kirpa, please have your mercy upon us. Lehu Ubare, and protect us. Jyon, just like Pakar Draupadi, when Draupadi was grabbed, Dusta Ani, by the Dust, the enemy, the villains. Har Laj Nivare, and Vaheguru, you yourself, and Har through the Simran, Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Or the Simran in her case of Krishna Bhagwanji, she was saved. Okay, so remembering her Guru, remembering Vaheguru. Another Pankti, Prahlad Rakhi Har Paj Aap. So we talked about Bhagat Prahlad Ji. You can go on YouTube and go back to, so I think that was Pauri number 2. That's on YouTube as well. So you just have to type in Mata Sahib God Educational Trust, and then it'll be like Bhai Gurdaas Ji Vaar 10, and it'll say Bhagat Prahlad Ji. Just like Bhagat Prahlad Ji, you saved, whose honor you saved. And then they say, Bastar Cheenat, Draupadi Rakhi Laj. And Draupadi Rakhi Laj, you protected her honor by, when she was Bastar, her clothes were Cheenat, were being taken from her. There's another one here as well, a Shabad by one of the Bhatts, who are one of the poets that praise all of the Gurus at the end of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Ab Rakho, now Guruji, protect Das Part Ki Laj, the honor of your Das, of your servant, and of your, remember the poets, so your poet. So we if we read that Gurbani, we are like the poets of Guru Granth Sahib, because we're like poets in the sense we're singing the praises, the same praises that these poets wrote. We're singing those praises of the Guru, and also with the servants of the Guru. So protect our honor. Jaisi Rakhi Laj Bhagat Prahlad Ki. In the same way you protected the honor of Bhagat Prahlad Ji. Harnakhas Phare Kar Aj, who was Harnakash, the enemy, essentially was ripped apart with the nails of yourself, Vaheguru, in the form of Narsingh. So if you go back to that video, that'll make sense. And then the next Pankti they say, Phon Draupadi, and then, Phon means and then, Draupadi Laj Rakhi Har Prabji. So Har Prabji, Vaheguruji, you protected the honor of Draupadi. Cheenat Bastar, her clothes were being taken from her. Deen Bahusaj, but you blessed her with more kapde, with more cloth, you could say, because sari is one long piece of cloth. And so you can see there's a lot more as well. Do Sasan ki Sabha, in the court of Do Sasan. So this is Bhagat Namdev Ji talking about Draupadi. Draupadi Ambar Let Ubariya Le. You protected by giving more kapda to her to protect her honor. And so what we can take from this is all of those. There's a lot more Pankti as well where Draupadi is mentioned. The word Panchalī is used as well. So she's got sort of two names. And what we can take from this is that when we focus on our Guru, when we focus on Vaheguru, they protect our honor and they save us from difficulty and whatever that difficulty may be. Remember, all you do is just think of Krishna Bhagwanji, and in the same way, if we think of our Guru, we think of Vaheguru. We can call upon Vaheguru if we are the true Bhagats of Vaheguru, if we're the true devotees of Vaheguru, and we meditate upon our Guru. We can be saved in this way, and our honor can be saved in this way as well. So that's all for this week. Next week it is one of Krishna Bhagwanji's childhood friends, Bhagat Sudama. I think that's Pauri number 9. This is Pauri 8 today. I think it's Bhagat Sudama next week. But again, if you've missed any of them, some of them are on the Instagram IGTV of this account, and all of the recordings from all of the other lives on all of the other days as well as these Tuesday lives. They're on YouTube. You just have to type in Mata Sahib God Educational Trust and then click on that YouTube channel, and all of them will be there in uploads. So that's all for this week. Thank you everybody for listening, and if you think anyone would benefit from these lives, feel free to send it over to them and help them learn the lesson that we've all learned this week. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.